the meantime, let us start on the topic that is on our hands, as described by Dr. Valkin, that a very interesting and relevant area of human resource management. I personally believe that human resource management is the key to success for any organization. HR department, human resource department is serves as a source of competitive advantage, because when you invest on people, you can expect that people give their best. So in this topic today, we will be discussing that how organizations focus on developing an experience for the employees, which ultimately results into transforming the workplace for engagement, success, competitive advantage, growth, and all these wonderful things. Do understand that this is a topic of HR, because human resource management has a strategic role when it comes to aligning the strategies of the organization with what they want to do with their employees. HR plays a very strategic role. So if you are planning to do your specialization in HR and become an HR manager in the future, you are going to be in a top management position. You would be a person who would be like giving direct input, who would be like providing direct access, direct input support towards overall organizational policy making. So let us start. What is employee experience? Just to get an overview, the sum of all interactions an employee has with their employer from recruitment till the exit. Uh, you know, it's really important to understand that the organization has planned a journey for an employee from where he or she enters the organization and until the time they actually leave the organization, whether they retire or they leave the organization. This whole experience is supposed to be really overwhelming. It's supposed to be really uh, engaging in a way that the employees feel that they are doing something valuable with their lives, that they are contributing valuably to some real purpose, to some real objective. Uh, in terms of HR, let me go through the HR functions which are there. Uh, we start in terms of the core activities of an HR department. This is going to give you an idea that how this story starts and where it ends. In terms of the main or core functions of HR, it starts with HR planning, in which the human resource department determines the labor force requirement. I mean, how many people do we actually have? How many people do we need in the future? And what kind of people do we need? The main essence or crux of this is finding the right person for the right job. So it becomes the responsibility of the HR department to firstly design a right job, and then to find the right person who fulfills that job criteria and performs effectively over on that. HR planning also includes doing job analysis. Job analysis is an activity which leads towards understanding certain jobs. For example, if an organization wants to hire a marketing manager, they would want to do a job analysis, which is going to give them a result that uh, there are certain marketing related tasks that are needed to be performed by a specific person. So they will end up getting a job description and a job specification of a marketing manager. I'm just taking you through the timeline of an employee. Once they determine that they need a marketing manager, they go for the recruitment function. Now, the recruitment function focuses on attracting the top talent from the market. They spread the organization spreads its information through newspapers, through advertisements, through LinkedIn, through social media platforms, through their company websites. I mean, through different procedures. They spread the information and they want to attract the right talent. Just like AIU spread a word that we need a lecturer in HRM, so that information came to me. I applied for that and I got selected for that, and that is why I'm here in front of you. Although as a part-time lecturer, but just saying this is how it works. Once the recruitment process is complete, the HR department moves to the selection point, where the from a pool of candidates, pool of like 20-25 candidates, they select the most appropriate person for the job. Once that is done, the employees are inducted, orientation and socialization process goes on, onboarding process goes on, the people are hired, the employees are hired, and from there, their journey starts in the organization. Now, in HR's context, the organization invests on the employee in terms of training and development, in terms of employee motivation, in terms of performance appraisals, offering competitive compensation and salaries, offering competitive benefit structures. These are all the HR functions which I've already talked about in my previous lectures, but just to give you an idea that in employee experience, all these functions need to be performed at a top-notch level. Now, the organizations which are famous for their HR practices or for their people-related practices like Google, Apple, Zappos, Airbnb, Southwest Airlines. I mean, these are the top companies which are like for last 2 or 3 decades. They are very famous, very popular for their practices related to employees. Now, what are those practices? I've already mentioned that all the functions, which are all the HR functions, which are having a direct impact on the employee experience are basically they need to be top notch. They need to be focused on this thing that the employee feels overwhelmed, the employee feels excited, the employee feels engaged, and the employee feels that he or she is doing something really valuable. But just to get an overview that what are the core elements, organizational culture is one of the most dominant factors when it comes to creating uh, a wonderful employee experience. I mean, you do understand that though for those who are already working in organizations, you would be able to determine that what kind of an organizational culture is prevailing at your organization. You can always use the chat box and you can share an example from your organizational culture in which you are already working. And it can be like an example for us all to understand. Let me give you my example. Since I'm working in a university, so our core value or our core function or our core element of our working is the family structure. Like my university's name is ComSets, so we use the word that we are a ComSets family. Now, by using this word, we are depicting our culture in a way that like the family stands up for each other, the family supports each other, the family like offers and extends support to each other. So that is how our culture is shaped up at our organization as well. Uh, all organizations, they do plan that how they are going to determine the core values of their cultures. If you can think of any example, you can feel free to share. If you are working in an organization right now and you know that there is specific kind of core values which are being followed, I generally give an example. Uh, like the Apple company's core value is innovation. So they focus a lot on innovation. Now, their organizational culture, like how they do things, how the things are being done at the organization, it is also revolving around the concept of innovation. That is something really interesting. All right. Fine. I'm getting some direct messages. I will read it out for you in terms of understanding culture. People are talking about the dress code, especially regarding people belonging from different ethnicities and backgrounds. For example, I mean, diversity and inclusion is also a part of organizational culture where the company accepts that people are coming from different backgrounds. Like in the start of this session, we did talk about the New Year thing, and I told Dr. Welkin that we Muslims have a different time period of having a new year, but although today we will be celebrating and we will be celebrating our new year as well. So this means that it is a reflection of diversity and inclusion. Like you're not like against any other ideology or any other religion or any other mindset. You're just protecting or safeguarding your own basically interests. So the most important thing in developing an exemplary employee experience is the organizational culture. And the best companies in the world, they have planned, they have designed, they have developed a culture The common characteristics of those cultures include a flatter structure organization, like there is no power distance. People can actually talk to each other. People can reach out to the CEOs. People can interact with senior level managers. There is no strict hierarchy. Uh, Openness to communication is there. Fun activities are also there. It's not about like hardcore formal work. Deadlines are there, stiff deadlines are there, hardcore work is there. But on the other hand, they are like engaging with each other, celebrating each other's birthdays, celebrating different parties, having certain occasions, so that one feels that they are a part of some valuable organization. If any one of you has any example that you would want to share from your organizational culture, I would love to hear it. Now, another important aspect is obviously currently what we all are seeing is technology. I will talk about these factors later in the presentation as well, but technology plays a very dominant role in terms of employee experience. You know that currently with having the option of remote work, having access to computers, internet, and all the other resources that we can possibly use, the life of an employee is changed. So the access, it is the obligation of the organization to provide access to the updated technologies to the employees to enhance their employee experience. Like there are certain softwares that are being used in the organizations. The purpose of using a software within a working environment is to make sure that the employees, they are able to do their work more efficiently and effectively. So it is the obligation, it is the requirement of the organization to make sure that they are able to provide the top-notch technology. They have access to the top-notch softwares. They keep on improving their IT infrastructures so that the employees feel overwhelmed. And similarly, when it comes to the physical workspace, although these are hygiene factors, these are not motivators in terms of Herzberg's two-factor theory. If you can recall that, Herzberg's two-factor theory of motivation, he mentions that there are two things basically. One of them is hygiene factors and other are motivators. Now, hygiene factors include the places, the office space that you have, the computers, the laptops, the office that you are actually in, your physical infrastructure. Now, they are not supposed to motivate you, but in case of they being absent, you will feel demotivated. So it's really important that employees are provided with an infrastructure which supports or encourages. For example, if your workplace has a gym, if your workplace has a gaming room, I'm just giving you a like just an example. So this is something that is provided to you. You know, Google claims that its workspace, its company area is like a college campus. Now, what is the thing that is valuable in a college campus? That is having access to sports, having access to grounds, having access to certain facilities. So if you are working in an organization and you know that you can go to a ground and play something, you can go to the cafeteria and enjoy your food, or you can go to some gaming zone and do things, it's really wonderful. So the employee experience basically focuses on the end-to-end journey of employees from recruitment to exit. I've already talked about it. It enhances the physical and digital workplace for collaboration and productivity. Now, we do understand that collaboration, productivity, engagement, these are all the points which basically are kind of a source or a source of a pillar for an employee to work for, because like a core value, because no organization can, I mean, the definition of organization is two or more people working together for a common goal. So if there is no collaboration, there is no teamwork, so obviously it's not an organization as such. So employee experience leads towards creating a workspace, an environment in which the employees feel comfortable to even share their voice through feedback and actionable and provide actionable. This is very important. The people who are working who are actually working in an organization right now can share their experience that does your organization provide you with an opportunity to raise your voice, raise your concerns? Do they have formal channels through which you can actually share that what is happening good in your organization and how things can be improved? And you would be knowing as an employee that how your feedback is received. If your feedback is received well and the organization encourages you to share your ideas, you know, in in our organization, in our department, we started something as a bulletin board. In a bulletin board, we used to encourage our team members, our faculty members, to share one positive and one uh, area of shortcoming from their last week. So we wanted everybody to know, because this was like an exercise to make sure that the employees feel confident that their voice is being heard. So uh, when somebody shares something that is happening well to them, it's really something good. If somebody shares something that needs further improvement, it can also be a part of employee voice. Employee voice is something which gives a lot of encouragement, a lot of support, positivity, and motivation to the employees to share and speak up. So if you are working in an organization and you know that your voice is going to be heard, you are taken care of, your an organization needs to provide uh, a systematic approach, platforms, forums through which you can share your communication. So that basically helps you to feel important and your experience improves as an employee, obviously. And I've already mentioned that employee experience aims to foster a purpose driven culture by aligning values and offering meaningful work. It's really important for any organization in order to gain engagement. I mean, we do talk about employee engagement a lot, but the question is that how is it going to be achieved? My opinion is that employee engagement is achieved through a lot of clarity that needs to be provided, that needs to be expressed, that needs to be communicated from the management to the employees. Because if there is no clarity, if there is no specific direction, there is no specific purpose, specific focus on how they want to do things, then employee engagement or any other positive thing cannot be achieved. Now, the organization would want to rigorously work on that. Uh, Let me share something from an example from leadership context. You know, the leaders, when they are speaking to the people, whether they are political leaders like Dr. Welkin, I mean, planning to become the next president, or whether they are, or whether they are, I mean, it's a tip for you as well, Dr. Welkin, that you need to be focused on one or two or three keywords that you would be propagating throughout your communication with the people you want to attract. I'll give you an example of my country. One of our very famous political leaders, I mean, he's currently in jail, unfortunately, but because of political victimization. But uh, when he started his campaign, he started it by focusing on just one word, and that one word was change. Wherever he was going for a speech, or whenever he was appearing on television, or whenever he was even talking to in an informal interview, he used to focus a lot on this word, change. Change in our language in Urdu is known as tabdili. Okay, we use the word tabdili is an Urdu word. This is something that you can learn. And in English, it is said as change. So this one word that he's saying as a leader that I want to bring a change to that system, I want to change this system. This one word is enough to communicate, to propagate the main message. This is my point, that the organization need to focus on words, on ideas, on logics, on keywords. Your keyword is going to be something like, if you want innovation to be your keyword, if you want teamwork to be your keyword, If you want progress to be your keyword, productivity to be your keyword, optimization to be your keyword, I mean, it depends that what keyword the organization is going to select, and then they are going to have a purpose driven culture. Now, why does it matter? Higher employee engagement leads to increased productivity. I mean, there is no denial in that if the employees are highly engaged, they will be very productive. It generally encourages the employees to stay within the organization for a longer period of time, and they don't think about running away. There is less turnover in the organization, which means that employees, they would want to stay in the organization for a longer period of time. Then obviously innovation is enhanced if there is high employee engagement. These are very like, a statistic that I would want to share with you is that companies that invest in employee experience outperform competitors by 147%. And that is by a survey done by Gallup in 2022. This is very interesting because all initiatives within an organization, they require investment in terms of money, in terms of finances, and in terms of labor force, in terms of manpower. So if a company chooses that employee experience is going to be our next thing, so they focus on that. Now, what are the building blocks of strong uh, employee experience strategy? Firstly, technology integration should be there, like HR tech for workflows and communication. Like, how can there be a strong strategy in terms of employee experience? Using the technology, using different softwares, using different mediums, modes to ensure that the workflow and communication stays top notch. If you guys are definitely going to be familiar with how Facebook works. Now, some of the companies in Pakistan, they use Facebook at work. Facebook at work is a product of Facebook, which is like Facebook, but it is only restricted to the employees within an organization. I mean, everything is related to employees within the organization. So, in that context, within the organization, the employees can share their achievements just like they do on Facebook profiles. The other people can share a like, make a comment, make a gesture. So that basically enhances employee engagement, and they start talking to each other, and they start building a kind of a network and a rapport. Similarly, recognition and rewards. It's really important for organizations to have a mechanism through which celebration the achievements of the employees is celebrated. Uh, it's pretty obvious that there is a concept called as employee of the month or employee of the week. It is something that is very commonly seen. Employee of the week is there, employee of the month is there, that the company chooses. Now the people are going to strive for it. The employees working in an organization would want to strive and gain. Now at the end of a month, they appreciate, they cherish, they support, they encourage their top employee by giving them some kind of a star, by giving them some kind of a bonus, or having a party set up for them even. So these uh, awards, these celebrations, they lead towards understanding that employee engagement, employee experience, it enhances. Now, this is my most favorite part, that one of the most important factors of a strong employee experience strategy is that most organizations expect top-notch work from their employees, but when there is a question that what are you offering in return? So that is something that they are not able to answer. So wellness programs is something that the organization can offer in return to the employees. Uh, Programs which focus on building physical health of the employees, focus on improving their mental health, and the company can also offer financial support as well. Wellness is one key word that can be used as a part of the organizational culture's core value. Employee wellness programs are there in the organization. Now, if you are working in an organization as an employee and you know that the organization cares for your wellness, for your well being, so obviously you would feel that the organization is investing on you and your experience is really wonderful. Similarly, the overall behavior of peers, the overall behavior of the people in the network, the overall behavior of the leaders, it should be focused and based around the core values, which include empathy, transparency, and inclusivity. Because, I mean, the HR foundations are basically all focusing on the values which humans value. I mean, whether you are an employee or not, uh, all the HR functions are based around equality, are based around attributes which humans appreciate. So we all appreciate empathy. We like being cared for. We do believe in transparency. Transparency is good if the leadership takes initiative and stays transparent. So obviously the employees would feel that they can also raise their concerns. They can also raise their voice. And similarly, when it comes to inclusivity, inclusivity is something that you encourage the employees to be a part of the daily activities, or you treat the employees with respect that regardless of their ethnic background, regardless of their cultural background, regardless of their race, their gender, they're all treated equally. I mean, this is easier said than done. It's very challenging for organizations, but for those organizations who have maintained a focus on employee experience, they tend to develop these strategies in a wonderful manner. So, how to have a very positive employee experience, quickly going through those things once again, that onboarding and training, I mean, this is another perspective. This is an organizational perspective, that what can an organization do in terms of uh, creating a positive employee experience. It starts with onboarding and training. I mean, all employees, they feel happy when they join an organization. They are trained to perform better. They are offered all kind of encouragement, support, and they are given the opportunity to enhance their skill set. I've seen examples of top companies in Pakistan that they invest a lot on employee training. I mean, uh, few of my friends who are now at senior manager position in their organizations, they are usually gone to other countries. They are usually going to other places to get trainings, because at a senior manager position, you need to get the most of the exposure. Similarly, the workplace environment, I've already talked about it, the physical infrastructure, an environment includes your engagement with peers, your engagement with the other people around you, the systems that are there, even the small things, the color schemes. You know, I was once visiting an organization in the UK and I saw that they had a very significant specific color scheme that they followed throughout their walls, and there were like things written over there. So it gave a kind of a message that uh, we believe in inclusivity, we believe in diversity, we believe in taking people from different backgrounds. Now that difference of backgrounds was depicted through different colors, and I really appreciated it, because I asked them that why have you used such strong colors on the walls, and like why is this going on. So they said, Kiji, it's about, so they did mention that it is about the diversity and inclusion. Similarly, the organization needs to provide growth opportunities in return to training. In addition to trainings, all organizations particularly focusing on uh, creating a positive employee experience, need to focus on offering growth opportunities to the employees. Now, the employees get what I have seen is that employees generally feel within an organization that the opportunities for growth, that the opportunities for development, the opportunities for moving forward are just restricted to a few blue-eyed people in the organization. Most of the employees they feel that certain type of people would be getting promotion because they are liked by the top management. This is one part of organizational politics. But the thing is that the organization needs to clarify, needs to give this clear impression that whoever performs well is going to reach to the top. If this message, if this thing is a part of the organizational culture and everybody believes that all rewards are being given on merit and everything is being done on the basis of performance, then just imagine that how the employee experience would be. That everybody would be trying hard to compete for the reward that is waiting for them to come. So recognition and rewards, as I've already mentioned. Now, well-being support, I've already talked about it. That organizations need to understand that people they have needs, people they have emotions. People are not machines. People are not robots. People are not computers. They are like human beings, and human beings tend to have obviously they have feelings, they have emotions, they are fragile. So the company needs to understand that their human needs, their well-being needs are taken care of. Okay, so let us go through some quick examples of the companies. I've already mentioned that Google is a wonderful organization. I must suggest that you should in your spare time you should go through these company examples. There are so many wonderful material available on the YouTube. There are so many wonderful videos regarding organizational practices and what they do and how they do things. There are some wonderful interviews of leaders from these companies that gives you a lot of insight on how they approach their working environment. So in terms of Google, they have an initiative called as Project Oxygen, which focuses on leadership development and employee support. Over the time, they have seen that 37% improvement in manager ratings and increased retention. Now, just to give you an idea, I mean, we all understand that, all right, the leader should be doing this, the leader should be doing that, and so on. But if the organization is not particularly investing on those areas, if the organization is not particularly focusing on specific elements like leadership development, like employee support, then they cannot expect specific results. Now, companies like Google, they believe in numbers, they believe in data. So, I mean, saying 37% improvement, this is a significant number. So, the company actually measures that through improving the behavior of leaders, through improving their overall skill set, through improving their leadership capacity, through encouraging employee support, through improving employee support, how much significant improvement have we been able to witness. So this was the example of Google. Let us take another example of Microsoft. For those who are attending my sessions frequently, they would know that these are my top favorite companies. I start the examples always by Google. Google is like doing some really wonderful things. So, what is the initiative of Microsoft that is contributing towards exemplary employee experience? It's called flexible work model, in which the company focuses on offering remote hybrid work and offers technology tools like Microsoft Teams so that they can benefit uh, from these tools and work from home and take the option of working at a flexible mode. Now, since the arrival of COVID-19, the lockdowns, the world has become really familiar with the online mode of communication. I mean, the companies have not only regarding meetings that we do, not only regarding talks, not only regarding the teaching and the classes, but they have developed softwares through which they can actually do work. And there have been a lot of study being done over this fact that how effective is this remote teaching system, how people are remotely able to work, is their performance increasing through remote work, uh, offering flexible timings, does it really help? There is a lot of debate going on. I just saw a news a couple of weeks ago that there were a few companies, famous companies, I'm not sure about the names, and they were saying that they are actually recalling their employees back to the office space because they now believe that hybrid work or remote work is not working for them. So, like different companies have different experiences, but for Microsoft in this scenario, the flexible work model really benefited them, and the outcome is improved collaboration and employee satisfaction. So, by using different mediums, modes, creating a flexible work environment, the company is able to improve collaboration and employee satisfaction. Now, the another example of an organization is Airbnb. So, Airbnb is a wonderful organization that offers a website that offers you can actually make your space, convert your space into a income source by offering it online, and people can rent it out. And this company has really boomed, although in COVID it almost it diminished. During the times of COVID, Airbnb was the one of the first companies, because of the restrictions and lockdowns, that actually got bankrupt. So their employee experience initiative is belong anywhere. Interesting to know what it would be. Like it's since Airbnb is working throughout the world, and it is offering destinations all over the world. Like you can download Airbnb right now, and you can book a room in Spain. You can book a room in India. I mean, you obviously you'll have to travel over there. You can. It's not like it makes no sense that you're just making the booking. You'll have to go over there, and you can actually use this website to do that. So this means that a company working globally, it needs to focus on cultural alignment and diversity. Uh, and Airbnb is considered or recognized as a top employer globally because of their orientation, because of their focus on hiring people from all over the world. Now, this is their angle, this is their mode of showing uh, exemplary employee experience. Now, what are the different steps towards building a thriving employee experience? The companies, they need to take regular feedback from the employees, conduct employee surveys, ask them that what is working out well for them and what are the issues that they are facing. The companies, they need to invest in training and technology initiatives. Then I mean, the best thing that a company can do is to improve upon the skill set of the employees by offering different initiatives, ideas, and giving them maximum exposure. It's really important that employees, they get to have a sense of voice. They know that their feedback is going to be heard, and the employees need to, the organization and the leaders, they need to encourage that people should be giving thorough feedback regularly. Uh, it is also important to promote work-life balance because an organization needs to understand that employees, they have their family needs, they have their own needs as well, and there needs to be a balance between work and life. And recognize and reward efforts. This is also important for and it's pretty obvious, but for an organization to be claiming that they offer exemplary employee experience, they need to have a system in which all small efforts are being acknowledged and rewarded. There are different challenges that companies usually face when it comes to implementing employee experience programs. The first one is the obvious one, that there is a hesitance or a resistance to change. The leaders, the employees, the working systems, the patrons, they find it difficult to adapt to new changes. So it is important for the organization to make sure that uh, change adaptability is there. It is also a part of the organizational culture to make sure that people are like happy to make the change rather than resisting it. Now, there are budget constraints can be a factor, like it requires a lot of finances to make sure that new technologies are introduced within the organization. Training and development requires a lot of investment. Improving upon the physical infrastructure of the environment, it requires investment. I mean, everything that you want to do within an organization for a sustainable period of time, it requires money. Similarly, another challenge is to measure success. I mean, there are different patterns and criteria of success within an organization. It is a trade-off. Like if the organization or the business company is focusing on uh, measuring the results or measuring the data in terms of measuring the performance in terms of numbers, then obviously they would be less concerned about focusing on what they need to offer. They would be more concerned about improving upon that number. So understanding that how the success comes is an important aspect. There can be an example that you can go through that. We will be taking questions very soon. Don't worry, I'm just about to finish my presentation and then we will be taking the questions. So this is my final slide, that employee experience is critical. It is vital for organizational success. I mean, the companies, they do need to make sure that, uh, I mean, it's like you go to a hotel, you go to a five-star hotel, and you see that the waiters over there, the managers over there, everyone would over there would be asking you over and over again, sir, how are you feeling? Ma'am, how are you feeling? How is your experience? I think this same thing should be applied within the organization. I mean, obviously not in a day, but you can ask the employees after a week or so. You can ask them, how has been your experience? What are the positive sides of your experience and what is the downside? Uh, I'll finish it up with the quote that take care of your employees and they will take care of your business, by Richard Branson, Virgin Atlantic, Virgin Airlines. Take care of your employees and they will take care of your business. Now, I'll leave you all with the question that what steps will you encourage or appreciate or would want to see in your organization in terms of improving employee experience?